Hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody.
Hey, bub. Hey. How you doing?
We're a little late. We're a little behind schedule.
Are we? That
Yeah.
sounds like...
Did you guys see the sunset, though? That's why I was a little late. Was dropping the dog, doing a handoff.
Did you see the northern lights from San Diego?
It was beautiful.
Do we have northern lights?
Apparently, it's like there's some phenomenon happening where like a lot of people can see the northern lights.
Oh, shit. Okay.
But I don't think here.
No. Negative. Negative on the northern lights over here. What's up to everybody in the chat? I see everyone hopping in. Thanks for joining us.
Is the fan noise tolerable, chat? Because it's really nice for us.
Ooh,
if
I
it's
bet
tolerable.
you that sounds quite annoying.
Yeah, it's on
I'll turn
high.
it off. I'll
Should we
turn it off.
Low? Can we get a low setting? Yeah.
Fan
We
off.
got a bake, he
Closed
says.
door.
Is that a requirement to
Close the door.
sweat during the pod?
Yeah. I mean, our IQ is already low, but it just gets about 20 points lower.
Is the lighting like more intense today?
I don't know.
I think it is.
It's okay. Dan Simmons, what's up? All right, gents. What'd you put together yourselves there? You got some Pacificos?
I got.
Potpourri.
I'm drinking Armadillo tequila.
Ooh, you got tequila in there?
Yeah, from
Dos Armadillos.
from our dear friend Franco in
Franco?
Discord.
Yeah, that thing has been sitting there getting some use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've been pulling from that thing the last couple of weeks.
Yes. Little tequila sipping over here.
Mm.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, cheers, boys.
Cheers. Long distance
Salud.
cheers.
Salud.
Salud.
What are we going to talk
Good
about
to see you
today?
guys. Well, there's nothing happening in the world, so
No.
that makes it.
That makes it easy.
Yeah.
Let's give a shout out to our sponsor real quick, then we'll get started. Go to ZBiotics.com/alfalfa and use the code alfalfa at checkout to get 15% off the pre-alcohol probiotic. That's the wonderful drink you drink before you drink. It's a genetically engineered probiotic that takes care of a nasty toxin called...
Acetaldehyde.
yeah, that's the one that wreaks havoc in your gut when you drink. And then while you're sleeping, it wreaks more havoc, makes you feel like crap in the morning. So, all your hydration packets don't really solve that. But the pre-alcohol probiotic does. It looks like a little vial, tastes like nothing. You take it a few hours before you start drinking, and then it kind of goes to work as you start drinking and while you're asleep. So you wake up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. You can get your gym session in. You can get your work done. You can hang out with the kids, whatever you need to do. It's the best product we've ever recommended. It's the only product we actually recommend on the podcast. Yeah, we think you guys like it if you haven't tried it already. So go to ZBiotics.com/alfalfa. Use the code alfalfa at checkout. It gets you 15% off. Let ZBiotics know you heard it from us. And yeah, thanks ZBiotics team for sponsoring the pod.
We're eventually going to need something for the people that don't drink alcohol. Some kind of product. Right?
No.
It's becoming a thing.
We just promote.
I saw that in this government shutdown bill. I don't know if you saw this, but they slipped in a little last minute thing that just kills all the hemp industry. And a lot of those hemp drinks have been replacing alcohol.
Yeah, big time.
So those just get dusted.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, they have like a 1 year timeline to wind down.
Well, speaking of ZBiotics,
Mm-hmm.
I learned something very interesting today. I was talking to my designer that's working on the new website that I told you guys about like a month ago.
Yeah, based on that landing page alpha you
It
gave.
kind of was part of that combo.
Cool.
Kinetic Studios is the company, and I'm really excited. We're getting to a really good spot now. He's got like wireframe of the homepage out. Design is already beautiful. First iteration. Anyway, we were talking about like how to highlight like user feedback and testimonials and stuff. And he was like, because we have a lot of like organic UGC that's happened, like people posting on TikTok and Instagram and leaving reviews. And he's like, I did this thing that I think could work. Like if we want to do the best version of this, I did this website for this company called ZBiotics. And I was like, what? I was like, wait, what? Like, he's like, yeah, you know them? I'm like, they're our sponsor for our podcast.
No way.
And he's like, oh yeah, I did that site. I'm like, why isn't that in your portfolio? He's like, I've done so many sites, brother.
Well,
Yeah.
did you say, well, hear me out. I got a tagline for you. The drink you drink.
I didn't tell him. I didn't tell him.
Damn.
Anyway, but it's sick because we went to the site. He was showing me the way it's like embedded in these cool little videos, like natively embedded into the experience. But I was like, no way, this guy's a crusher, man.
That sounds like a great designer.
When do we get to?
great.
When do you get to unveil the new?
Well, we're really pushing for Christmas,
Okay.
but that obviously depends on me and the number of iterations.
Mm.
So,
So what's on there now? If you go to steno.ai.
it's just this lander we've had for like 2 years. So this is a big, big
Touched it in
website.
years. I know
it's
how
like
that
an
goes.
app proper website,
Proper.
So it's just been like this lander, but yeah, this will be a big. I mean, we did a rebrand, a whole new website design. We have to still do web development.
You have a
big
website, Eric?
change.
Yeah, but it's not something that I ever really think about.
It's funny. We don't actually have a website for our company. Like we have it for the brands, the brands we sell, the products we sell, but like we don't have one for our company. Is there like a inverse relationship between like how much you scale versus how shitty your website is or how good your website is, I guess?
Yeah, it just depends on the market.
I'm feeling pretty inadequate over here.
Are you?
With my website design?
Well, you're quite good. So I mean,
yeah. Well,
are you trying to get more AUM, like third party?
I think it's an interesting question. I think I'm in two minds. In one mind, of course, I would like more AUM, but in the other mind, I'm like getting to a place where I only want to work with the type of client that I feel like is right up my wheelhouse and like streamline my life like this.
But is your goal to just like kind of manage your own money eventually, or?
I think the clients that we currently have are so awesome that I could just like see myself managing that as if it were also mine. It's kind of nice because a lot of our client base is actually like kind of in line with how I am. So it makes it quite easier.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Well, I did a few interviews in the last couple of days and like, I was like, yeah, like there's no website for the company. It's mostly just the product websites. Like they have a tough time figuring out what exactly what job am I applying for?
What would you say you do here?
Yeah. All right, boys. Let's get into it.
Well, I have something to tell you guys about.
What do you have?
Also, more alfalfa. Did we post the episode?
Of what?
This. Did we share?
Oh, this. Yes, I
The
posted in the Discord.
Okay. Amazing. Hop in, fam. So I heard through like a random Instagram post that the creator of Breaking Bad has a new show. And I was like, no shit. Because as
That's
you guys
like
know,
your
I'm
favorite
like,
show.
I mean, I'm so late to all these things. Like I literally missed like Back to the Future. People think I'm like
You just watched Back to
retarded.
the Future?
I just finished the
Okay, what'd you think? Does
I
it
can't
hold up?
I shouldn't publicly be saying that because the last time I told somebody, my friend looked at me and she was just like, she couldn't even complete the next thought. She
You'll
was
be
just like-
judged for that.
She was just like, I don't understand. Like everyone saw Back to the Future, and I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't. So anyway, I missed Breaking Bad. I finally watched it like earlier this year. It's basically the best show ever made, and I think that's a pretty popular. That's pretty consensus.
Yeah, I think
opinion.
it's on like Mount Rushmore of shows.
Yeah, it's up there.
I haven't even watched it, but I just know that's the
Yeah,
feedback.
and he also created like El Camino, which I watched, which is like the follow-up movie, and then he created Better Call Saul, which I'm like one season in. Anyway, he has a new show. Do you guys know anything about this?
No.
Is it like in a different universe from that
Oh,
entirely?
it's totally different universe.
Yeah.
Totally different. It's called Pluribus.
Okay, I've seen this on Apple TV because I went through
This
this
is his
phase where I'm cycling my streaming service because like having all of them is too much. I don't even watch that much, so like I just do one at a time. I sort of like see what I want to see on that one, and then I switch off.
No, I prefer to pay for them all and watch none.
I actually thought
That's what I was thinking in my head. I was like, I guess I just.
Yeah,
What-
I have stuff I've never even heard of. Peacock. What the fuck is Peacock?
yeah, I have that
Like,
too.
I have.
But I was thinking like there should be like a class pass for these.
Yeah.
Can we just go back to
Ooh.
cable?
Yeah,
This is cheaper.
It's actually cheaper just to like
This
go
is the
the
exact
old way.
conversation I had with my barber today.
It was
This
cheaper
is
before.
such good barber talk.
You would get everything, and you paid less.
Because originally it was like, ooh, Netflix and maybe HBO, and you're only spending like $20 a month, and then now it's like your bill's
Apple
like
TV,
$150.
YouTube TV.
And then YouTube TV, Disney just got in a dispute with YouTube TV, so ESPN is off of YouTube TV. Now you got to go get like a Hulu Disney membership. to
Oh,
get
that's
Disney
why
Red.
Formula One wasn't
It's
on
gone.
YouTube TV this
gone.
weekend.
Okay, the Disney one
Fuck.
pisses me off the most because they own ESPN and ABC.
Yeah.
But if you have the Disney app, you can't watch ABC on the Disney app, even though it's their owned content. I'm so mad. I'm so mad at this whole situation.
Well, it's ripe for consolidation, and then I'm sure it'll break up again.
That's just the nature of things.
Yeah,
Just-
did it just
Bundling and
consolidation,
debundling.
decentralization?
We just debundled. Now we'll bundle again.
Yeah, they're already starting to do those deals together.
That's the real fourth turning.
Just mass chaos. I mean, figuring out where to watch something is actually a struggle. You have to Google it. It's like, what is this on?
Yeah.
Google, boomer. So this show, can I just give you the synopsis?
Yeah.
Because it's actually quite deep. So the premise, as you just like read the Rotten Tomatoes, first of all, it's apparently like the most highly reviewed like pilot in a long, long time. It has like 100% from critics. And like the audience score was like 80 or 90% or something. I'm like, okay, let's see what this is all about. So premise, the way they write it, and then I'll give you the Arman version. Premise, the way they write it is the world's most miserable nihilistic person is trying to save humanity from a global epidemic of happiness.
Oh, I actually did read that, and I was like, Arman's going to love this show.
So I start this show, and the first 20 minutes, I'm just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? It's weird. It's really weird. The premise is jarring, and you're just trying to figure out what's going on. But they do a good job of the opposite of that show you hated. It's literally the opposite.
Oh,
Severance.
Severance. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how Severance, like nothing gets explained?
Yeah, yeah.
Still hasn't been explained.
This show explains a lot to you fast.
Yeah, what do they call that? They call that,
Not bearing the lead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
I forget. I'm not a cinephile or something.
Cinephile.
Yeah, I don't know what they call it either. But here's what I realized the show is actually about. And I'm not giving away, and like you're still going to enjoy the show very much. No spoilers. The show is actually about a juxtaposition between the current state of humanity today, which is symbolized through this unhappy nihilist, and what a civilization of humanity would or should look like in 10,000 years. In 10,000 years, the way they, and I won't tell you like the reason is this alien thing. So we don't have to get into what happens and how it's caused. You can watch the show to find out how everyone becomes happy. But this future state that they paint of civilization is there's one cohesive consciousness that permeates all mind. They evolve to a point where there's one mind.
Whoa.
They lose self-identity. They have no recognition of individual siloed minds or bodies anymore. Your skin color, your personality, your name, it's meaningless. We're all just we. It's fucking creepy. They're all just we.
Do they all say "we" at the same time?
They say we.
Damn, is this going to be one of those things that's like a documentary in
Dude,
20
is
years?
it The Matrix?
You mean in
know.
30,000 years?
Well, yeah. I mean, and also to allude to a future topic,
Yeah.
Ayn Rand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say 10,000, maybe 1,000, maybe if we're in the singularity, 500. I have no idea. But it's a future state of civilization, an alien advanced civilization. So beyond just the shared consciousness, it's the values that they hold about food, the values they hold about collaboration, life, pain, suffering. They're just basically blissed out, but in a really interesting way. And it's juxtaposed so intensely because she's this like, what is wrong with you people?
Yeah,
She's
sound
like,
like
I
a bunch
don't
of-
want to join you.
Sound like
She's
a bunch
free
of commies.
She doesn't want to join them. And they're just like, why would you not want to join us? This is bliss. This is amazing. Like, we're trying to figure out what's wrong with you and why you are immune to what we have.
It's kind of like the Matrix in that sense.
It's actually fascinating. So it took me a while. I hated it for like 30 minutes. And then I was like, God, I can't stop watching this. There's only 2 episodes right now.
Oh, I hate when they release them once a
Yeah.
week.
I would have binged it the entire night.
Yeah.
What show are you watching, Eric?
On Apple TV, I'm watching a show. It's like a spy show. It's kind of like a popcorn watch where you kind of like know that the good guys are going to win.
Yeah.
But it's Slow Horses.
Oh, I love that show.
Oh, you seen it?
Yeah.
Well, you like a sort of like CIA spy type
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm watching the show that I like, I don't know, check in from time to time is The Americans. It's an old show. It's already done.
I remember when that was kind of popular.
It's amazing.
That's a good one?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
about these like Russia during pre-Cold War or during the Cold War had like implanted young Russians into American culture, and they assigned them identities of like people who had died when they were 4 years old. And there wasn't like some digital record system, so they just gave them the identity of this real person that existed, has a social security number, everything, but they died when they were very young, and they assumed those identities, and they're like undercover. the entire time. And this was a true story.
It's a true story.
It's a true story. They planted, tons of spies that came in when they were young. They speak perfect English. They don't speak Russian on American soil. They do all kinds of like espionage tactics while they're there on behalf of the Russian government.
What service is that on?
That one's on Hulu.
Okay.
That's going to cost you another one.
No,
That's going to cost you.
I have that too. One thing I was going to say is that Arman was pointing out like the director or whatever that he follows. Like I often go for a show that has like a killer actor, and I've done that a couple times now with like an Oscar-winning like best actor guy who's now on a show. Gary Oldman is the Slow Horses main character. He's a Oscar winner. I watched a show on Peacock, I think that was called The Jackal, that had a Oscar winner. I can't even remember his name, but he's like a younger guy.
It's funny. The same protagonist, the woman of the duo in The Americans, she's in a new show. Carrie Russell is her name. She's in a show called The Diplomat. I think it's on Netflix. Also an amazing show. Not very spy thing.
Yeah, isn't right up your political West Wing. Sounds like
my Netflix's algorithm could be like 50 IQ to just figure out what I want to watch. It's just like very simple.
Yeah, I know what you like. I would rewatch Succession. I'm ready.
Succession
It's only been a
is
year.
on Mount
Ready.
Rushmore.
Ooh, I need more to go by so I forget, and then I could relive it again.
Sometimes I don't even want it to go by. I'm like, I'm just ready.
I'm just
again.
ready again.
The dad from Succession gave you a birthday shout out.
Oh, that's right. Yaniv, my buddy for my birthday, he hounded him on Cameo, and finally got the main character in Succession
That's rad.
to be like,
I remember that.
What did he say?
He said, "Happy birthday, fuck off."
No, fuck off. Yeah, that was great.
Oh, that's so good.
Or was it the bachelor party?
That was your bachelor party.
Yeah, it was the bachelor party.
Yeah.
He said, "Congratulations."
That's right.
Now fuck off. All right, boys, should we get into it?
I'm into it.
Okay.
I'm deep in the saddle.
I would like.
You're not leaning down in your corner anymore?
My ass is going to be on the floor before you know it. Like, yeah, that corner one, it took an hour to get into the pain, but I eventually, it was painful.
I could see that coming.
Yeah.
I would like to debate the 50-year mortgage. Does anyone want to take a specific side, and I'll take the other side?
I'm taking the middle.
Well, I
fuck,
feel like you being the algo would take the side of obviously the 50-year mortgage is a mathematical win because you're going to get monthly savings that you can reinvest at a higher rate than you're paying.
Yeah, I mean, like I think it's good to analyze some of these things. They take them in the extreme. Like, does it make sense to pay down your house? Oftentimes, no. I'd say the only time it does make sense is if you're near retirement and you actually want to stop working, and it actually makes sense to pay down like let's say you're 2 years away, or maybe better phrase it, you're $2,000 a month away from being able to retire, and you could cut down your mortgage by paying off, the last like 150 grand of principal.
So then
it makes sense.
I mean, are you saying that from the algo mind, or are you saying that from like this makes sense on a behavioral
Well, I was
level?
thinking about it for my own house, and I was like, okay, the math says all the time don't pay down your mortgage, like all the time. But I was just thinking like your personal situation could change that, right? It's a very personal question.
Well, because I was going to say, I mean, in my line of work, I deal with a bunch of clients who have like completely different goals and risk tolerances and whatnot. So I'm like, I see people who would like never invest in the stock market, and I'm like, okay. But like my brother-in-law, Alfred, is paying down his home early. He's like our age, but he wants to retire at age 50. And he's like, if I can just like have no monthly payments, then I can retire at age 50. So it's kind of like what you're saying.
Yeah. So what I came to the same conclusion. It's like, all right, I want to retire in the next like 5 to 10 years. You need time for your investment. Let's say you don't pay it down, your investments to compound to make it worth it. And so if you give it time, it's going to obviously compound and outbeat, paying down your like 6% mortgage or 5% mortgage, whatever it is. But if you want to retire in 2 years, you're just like, fuck it, I can just pay this thing down and I'll be free.
I have so many questions. Can we, I feel like, can I be OCD right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I compartmentalize and structure this, because I will get lost. So I think there's two components. Please help me. There's two components that I think are really important to this. Is like, what does a 50-year mortgage mean for an individual? And then what does this mean for the system at large? Because these are two very different perspectives for me of like, what are the trade-offs on my level And what does this really mean for what we've done as a society and for capitalism and the market?
Let's look at it as a buyer first. I think
Okay.
that's important because most people
An
think about
individual.
it.
So you're there.
So yeah, so
within the buyer aspect,
take it in
there's
extremes.
many components.
Paying
as well.
down doesn't make sense mathematically at all. Then the question is like, well, would like 100-year interest only mortgage make sense?
And a couple facts that are important that I learned recently is like average age first time home buyer is now 40.
Yeah.
Average age generally of like home buyer today is 61.
61.
Is that their
50-year
second home?
mortgage,
Like
110 years old. Even the 40-year-old, you just bought a home.
For
Next
the
gonna be
rest of your
90.
life. Yeah.
Next gonna be 90.
that's okay though. That's great
okay.
because like you're gonna inflate away the debt.
Yeah.
So like your debt
But
in
it's-
50 years is
okay.
gonna look like
Yeah,
like,
because you're still
crumbles.
paying dollars, today's dollars, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
But I still think there is some emotional thing to this where you're like, I'm going to be in debt for the rest of my life.
Okay, so that's what I was going to mention is that you ask incredibly smart people who know the math, who are like good investors, good business owners, and you're like, so you did the math. He's like, I did the math. It doesn't make sense paying down the house. So you're not going to pay it down, right? Nope, I'm going to pay it down.
Because it's an emotional
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
My perspective, and maybe like as we talk, I'll change my mind, but like my perspective is this is great for the individual. This is terrible for the system. This is a Band-Aid solution to drive demand and create affordability for people to buy a home because too many people are blocked. Too many people are locked in. So there's the new portability thing. We're juicing demand. We don't have enough supply. We're trying to free up some supply with the portability thing. But there's a shortage of 4 point something million homes in the United States. So you juice up that demand and you allow people to do what? What is really the purpose of this? It's to get people into assets because my tinfoil, and it's not even that tinfoily, is that the administration understands that if they don't get people into these assets more quickly and allow them to become homeowners, they'll be left behind. And that chasm widening causes more and more and more long-term disruption. So I think it's actually an effort to get people into something that can allow them to inflate away the debt, and not all debt is bad, and that's my perspective on the individual side. But on the system side, this is terrible.
Well, let's talk about the individual first.
Yeah, because there's more to go through. Like I saw a lot of takes on Twitter, and I think the people who say this is like mathematically better for the individual, I think are right, but it's actually way slimmer margin than people think. So a lot of people have been doing this math on Twitter, right? You take 30-year mortgage times the interest rate, $500K loan, and then you map it out the monthly payment. And then you take a 50-year mortgage, same interest rate, and you map it out. And you're like, oh, look at the difference in the monthly payment.
Yeah, you pay less.
You pay less. You pay a lot less.
You pay less, but you pay double the interest.
Who cares?
Which
That-
is a who
yeah,
cares,
yeah.
fine. But it is double the interest.
Yeah, exactly. But what people are missing in all their calculations is that a 50-year mortgage will have a higher interest rate than a 30-year mortgage. Just like a 30-year mortgage has a higher interest rate than
Like
a
50
15-year.
basis points or something.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was when we looked it up before the pod. So if the interest rate right now is 6.3% on a 30-year, it's going to be 6.8% because behind every mortgage is actually an investor, a retiree. Like there's someone who's investing in this, not just a bank. They package them up, securitize them, all that kind of stuff. And so just like you would expect to get paid more for a 30-year T-bill than a 10-year T-bill than a 2-year,
Right.
I think the same thing matters.
Okay, so you pay a higher interest rate, but then your monthly payment is lower. So your effective interest rate is what really matters, right? Because it's like what you're paying per month.
Yeah, but the what I came down to is like I looked at the different interest rates, same mortgage, and then different years, and it's only like 5.2% lower. So on a $500K mortgage or house with 400K mortgage, you're saving $130 a month. And so if you have the pure discipline to make sure that $130 goes into like an investment account,
It's $130?
That's okay. So first of all, I
because
think
the interest rate's 50 basis points higher.
Yeah.
so. I think that needs to be like a record scratch, like stop the music, because that is not even meaningful enough to even care about, really.
I thought it was going to be like 20%.
Yeah, and
If you
okay.
had the same mortgage, which is
Right.
everyone's doing on Twitter, but like people forget, like investors are going to demand a higher interest
Yeah,
rate
I assumed like
because of the
50
duration, but also because these are non-qualified mortgages. Like you have to change the law. You have to have Congress change the law.
But it'll be the same as what the 30-year mortgage is today.
But if Congress actually passes a law,
Yeah.
because like there's all these laws, like the banks actually get legal protections for a 30-year or less mortgage, but a 50-year, if Trump is like, let's do a 50-year, but Congress doesn't change the laws, there's no legal protections.
You're talking about
There's
like
no point in that.
There's no legal recourse if they default. So then you're obviously going to have.
You're talking
this-
about like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac,
Yes.
the agencies that back every conventional mortgage.
Yeah, so there's like multiple issues on why the interest rate would be a lot higher than you might think.
Yeah, so
for a 50-year.
Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac would have to implement some policy on a 50-year.
Congress would have to pass
Congress
a law.
would, yeah.
That's what makes it such a big deal because,
Okay.
yeah, you're going to rely on Congress.
Okay, so let's just assume that Congress does, and then let's assume that it's 50 basis points higher because
Okay.
that's just like what the curve would show.
Mhm.
You would only save $130 a month, which is like actually less than what I've seen the calculations on Twitter because I guess everyone's using just like the curve doesn't move. It just stays
Right.
the same at 30 year. Man, okay, so the other important thing that you mentioned is that even if people are saving money monthly, the only way it makes sense is if you take the savings and invest them at a higher rate than what you're paying on the mortgage.
Which I think, like, you know, your after-tax equivalent return, the hurdle rate, is actually relatively low. Like, you could probably do that.
True, but I think the after-tax component is also important. Like, you're going to get taxed on the returns that you get from your investments.
Yeah, when I analyzed this, I was like, oh, in the beginning, it makes, like, it's already dumb to pay down your mortgage, but it's even dumber to do it in the beginning because your interest is front-weighted, so your tax deduction is the largest in the beginning. So it makes a lot of sense to, like, not pay down your mortgage, and then your after-tax hurdle rate is actually far more than your interest rate. Because you might say, okay, I'm paying a 5% interest on my mortgage, it's a risk-free 5% return. But no, if you after-tax equivalent it could be like a 7% hurdle you need to,
Of course.
rate, especially if you try to adjust it for the risk.
Of course.
It could be even higher. So obviously, if people are stuck with like 2.9% mortgages, it's a lot easier. But I was talking to our friend of the pod. He's got like 4 years left on his mortgage, and he's got a low interest rate, but he gets no tax benefit towards the end of his mortgage. So he's essentially paying down his mortgage, like almost all principal in the last
he's paid
3
up
years of his mortgage anyway.
The amortization schedule, he's like already paid off the interest.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's no interest deduction for his taxes.
But so to get back to your point about what this does to the system, it effectively increases the pricing of homes, I think, by like 5.2%, because banks look at the rough math. Okay, if your payment is $2,500, you have to make $7,500 a month, and the payment goes down to $2,350. Okay, now you can afford a 5% larger home for it. And so I think like the new home builds will just immediately hit that. Like they'll just increase the amount that they charge for the home. They will be able to.
Agreed.
And then the market might take some time to like adjust, but essentially all the homes get a little more expensive.
That, and I just don't understand. Okay, create affordability for millennials and Gen Z to become homeowners. They're super frustrated. If you don't solve this soon, things get worse and we become a communist society. Fine, I get that. But without solving the supply side of the problem, I don't understand how this ends up working. Like, where I think this goes wrong is without that. We have shortage
housing supply.
housing.
Yeah,
Housing
I
supply.
got some ideas. Because like
if you just juice demand, you're creating a bubble.
Well,
without
supply
increasing
would
supply.
chase the demand is the idea. Is that like home builders would come online.
the question is, if home prices go up 5.2%, are a bunch of boomers or people locked into 3% mortgages going to all of a sudden decide to sell their home? I don't know. Maybe incrementally, maybe. That's what you're saying, right? As the demand goes up, people are like, oh, I'll start selling.
No, I think that home builders would come online.
Yeah, but like think about in larger cities
Home
where
builders are going to make a killing on this.
like in San Diego, there's only a certain amount of areas you can build homes on the outskirts. But like,
But you see it happening.
I guess you're right.
But it'll increase. Yeah,
I
you
think
see it all over.
I'd more focus on how do you incentivize people with first and second mortgages to give up their 3% mortgage rate, because that's obviously the big problem. Like by just increasing demand and home builders, you're kind of like solving the problem at the periphery. Like why not tackle like the biggest lever, which is
Well, that's what Adrian was just saying before we started. Is like some portability thing.
okay. That's one of them for sure. allow people to port over their mortgage as long as the collateral value of the home is higher than the existing mortgage, right? So you appraise the new house, it appraises for more, you have more equity there. So like,
and like that,
the bank is even safer with that mortgage on that house.
Seems like an easy deal because a bank would be fine underwriting that.
Potentially, right? And I think that's like an easy win. The other one is increase the capital gains exclusion. I think if you hold your house for more than 2 years, I think it's like 200, 500K, I forget what it is. But you don't pay capital gains tax if it's your primary residence.
That's right.
So jack that thing up. Like go from like $500,000 to $1 million. And I forget what I read, but it was something like when that $500,000 cap was written, if you just take inflation, like 3% a year, that answer is $1 million now. So just update it to inflation.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you have these homeowners being like, okay, I have a 3% mortgage, but I'm not going to pay taxes in the first $1 million gain. This makes a lot of sense. And then the other one would just be to increase the mortgage interest deduction cap so that, you know, some of these like higher value areas see some unlock too. So you incentivize these people holding on to their homes because they don't want to give up the mortgage to.
But like what, why do you want existing homes to turn over? What's the beauty of that?
To unlock supply, right? Because that's where most of the lock supply is the fact that we jacked up interest. We had a whole cohort of people who got burned in the mortgage
Well, it doesn't
in 2008.
unlock the net supply.
So I guess
it just moves transactions.
So those
Yeah,
guys,
that's great.
But
Yeah.
those guys would
but we're still going to need
they would
supply.
level up, I suppose, and open it up to like new home buyers,
Yes,
like entry level
home buyers. Like
Yeah.
the whole dynamic is that like this millennial group or even the generation after us, there's boomers holding on to homes that have like.
I don't think that solves the problem.
Why not?
You still don't have a net increase in supply.
I
You're
don't.
stimulating, but you're
You
not.
know what you want is like each generation when they become the time of like being able to afford a home to be able to afford
Yes.
a home. And like there's a lot of boomers who have multiple homes. So
Okay.
like it's
Yeah.
like, come on, grandma and grandpa, like you don't need the 3,300 square foot house anymore.
Yeah.
You'd be fine in like a 1,500
Okay.
square foot.
Yeah, I wasn't considering like a second or third home.
I think if you think about it in
Yeah.
terms of like the generation, like when think about the generation when they come time to buy their first home, is there enough of that type of home available? And there's not, because the generation and a half above them has just been holding
I don't know
on
if
to
they're
it.
going to want to let go of those though. You know,
They
Maybe
will
keep it in the
if-
family,
if
the price goes
If
up
there's a
enough.
capital gains exclusion that's
Yeah.
massive, if they can port over their 3% mortgage, they'd be like, I actually don't like keeping up to date this like 3,500 square foot home. It would actually be more convenient if I had a smaller home just for
That's
me and grandpa.
It's
I still think it's
my
just a-
parents think that way. They're like, we
Yeah.
don't need as big a home as we have. Like, let's.
Yeah, you downsize. People
Yeah.
downsize.
But you're almost
I just-
you're handcuffed to
Yeah.
it.
I still
Golden
think it's
handcuffs.
like this systemic problem, and this is like a short-term bridge band-aid solution. And on the one hand, I'm like, you get into this personal conflict where you're like, okay, is this advantageous to me as an individual? Like mostly yes, but what does this do systemically? I think it only kicks the can down the road further into a broken system. So what are you going to do? Sit around and cry about the fact that we live in this like broken system, or take advantage of it personally, and you're left with no choice but to be like, I have to own assets, and it's better to be in debt with this type of asset than it is to stay out of the game. You got to get in the game. You got to have the right type of assets, especially as debasement continues.
It's
So-
funny though. Like I understand the NIMBYism, you know, where you're like, okay, I'm a homeowner now. Yeah, I'm down for the 50-year mortgage, so it like boosts the home prices like 5.2%. Portable mortgages, that would unlock a massive amount of supply, which would probably like decrease home prices. No, I don't like that. So imagine like the primary voting cohort who is this and is like, no decrease of regulations to like let more housing in my home because it's going to devalue my main primary asset. Don't do a 50-year mortgage, and don't, you know, they kind of like trap themselves. Their incentives are in the right place. I get it.
I was thinking of what Arman was saying, and like thinking of the system. I think you're right. Like it shows the flaws in the system, sort of like this like debt based thing that we have
It's
going
the same
on.
thing we do all the time.
Yeah,
We're
this
just
is-
gonna print more.
Yeah, this is very
Never solve the
clearly
problem,
kicking
no
the can down the
austerity.
road. This is literally just creating exclusion to like allow people to be able to afford something they can't.
Yeah. By the way, default's gonna go crazy with this.
I wonder about that. If they like keep the standards the same, I wonder about that. But I was also thinking, like, what about the originators? Like, the banks have like very clearly demonstrated, at least in my lifetime, that they're not good at managing the risk on their balance sheet. And then when you like move duration to a level that like they're not even accustomed to,
Yeah.
like they're going to fail. Whoever holds these, they're going to fail. They've shown that they're going to fail in the past, and they're going to fail on this very clearly. The government's going to bail them out, and the taxpayer's going to end up footing the bill.
Well,
or
I
money
actually
printing.
think the banks won't even do it without the government being a backstop.
Well, yeah, I guess my point is that the taxpayer ends up footing the bill either in the form of inflation or debasement or in like higher taxes.
Yeah, I agree. Like I don't think banks will want to do it unless Congress passes laws or the government says we'll backstop it. But yeah, I guess there is some risk because like if the average home, I don't know, you keep it for like 10, 12 years, from like a pure opportunity cost standpoint, it doesn't matter that you've only paid down, let's just call it, I don't know, 10% in principal. Doesn't matter. But if the market goes down, 6% and your selling costs are 6%, then you're actually like very easily in the hole or underwater on the house.
So let me ask you this: like I guess it's like your question. You asked like, how about 100-year mortgage interest only?
Interest only.
Because I think that who I am, I would take that in a heartbeat.
I would take it in a heartbeat too.
Yeah.
I would be like 100 years. You'll let me lock in this interest rate, and the
You're just a renter in disguise.
No, but you actually have equity.
But you
You have equity.
So you participate in all the upside of the capital
do.
appreciation. That's
Yeah.
the key.
So you own 20% of the house now because you down payment. But like, if your belief is that assets are going to inflate, it's like all upside.
Yeah, that's
You
where
know?
I'd be into.
So
I think you have to participate when these options unlock.
I
Because if you don't,
I was
that's
talking
the risk.
to the banker when I was looking at my house, and I was like, "So you have a bunch of wealthy clients. Like, why do you even offer interest only, payments?" And he's like, "Just wealthy people, happy to take an interest only loan if you give it to them." And they're like, some people are business owners. They don't make money. They don't have a paycheck every month, and their money comes in like chunks. So what they'll do is like pay interest only, and then when they get some money, they'll pay down a chunk of the principal. But he's like, but they only offer interest only for 10 years often. So that's why you don't see it as much. But if they offered a 100-year, I would definitely take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, none of this is happening soon. I think that's the other thing.
So
people
yeah,
have
where
to
do
keep
we,
in mind.
Nick? Where do we stand on this? This was just like proposed and
In meme format on Truth Social.
Yeah, like apparently it was an idea whispered in Trump's ear, and he just front ran it and started memeing it out into existence, and no one's ready for it. But apparently, the last time this happened was FDR,
Yeah,
and it took 2 years.
to
unlock
create the
the
30-year
30-year.
mortgage. Yeah, apparently it was created sometime after World War II to kind of like,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe things happen
Stimulate.
faster now, but I wouldn't ever put it under 6 months to 12
I
months.
feel like the chat might be opinionated about this. I want to
Let's
hear
see.
what they say.
yeah, I want to see some.
1 million years. Mwahaha.
$1 million.
I mean, there's another aspect to this is like, what if we're about to unlock like extreme longevity?
Hold
think we
on,
are.
millionaire guy in the chat says 50 basis points to save $50 a month and make Wells Fargo an extra $200,000.
Okay, so this is like Wells Fargo or
They're gonna clean
so
up.
like well, here's the thing: the banks that originate the loans don't actually make the money. They like package up the loan and they sell it
Yeah.
to like fixed income investors. So the fixed income investors will be happy to like collect that stream of payments. I think the stream of payments is like obviously not going to be 50 years. When you get like that long a duration, you're going to get like refinancing.
Well, yeah, most people don't even keep the house for more than 12 years. So
Right.
that's
So-
why mortgages match the 10-year
Yeah.
treasury, because that's the length of a actual loan.
But let's just say hypothetically that somebody is paying 50 years of interest, and like, dude, that dollar amount is actually massive. That like you're
But
paying.
if you invested it, it would be even massive.
Okay, right, exactly. So what ends up happening is you force the general public to go further out on the risk curve, which is like a phenomenon that we've been talking about on this podcast for a long time, where like people are now investing in fucking meme coins and dog coins because everybody's being forced further to the right on the risk curve. And I think that this is like a bad thing for society.
I also don't think people are going to invest the rest of the money.
Right.
Like,
So I think there's a
that's,
practical
you're talking
nature.
like an algo, but like the reality is they'll just stretch themselves to get into a home or a better home than they would have gotten into.
Let's say you're
That's just
super
how
good
people
and you
operate.
create the automated debiting of the $130 a month into your
Nobody's
Wealthfront
doing that.
account. And like, let's say you do that, but like even 5 years out, you might be like, well, there's this money sitting here I could
Yeah.
do to improve the house, or my property tax is coming due. I could use this little,
Not happening.
yeah. Anyway.
Not happening.
So there is like an element
But
of
does
like
that change the
practicality.
formula?
Yeah. Cause like if you are actually thinking about it personally, you're like, okay, I literally can't touch this money.
The only way it works is if you invest the difference at a higher rate after tax than what you're paying.
And
That's the
not
only-
have the behavioral fuck ups that
Yeah.
come in common with like selling too early and selling when dips go down, or
And if the difference is only $130, then I'm out.
Yeah, that can't be right.
it
How
is
is
the
that- how
interest
is-
rate is going to be higher.
Yeah, it is going to be higher.
It's going to be for sure higher.
It has to be because the investors who buy this long
No, there will
stream
definitely
of
be
income know that it's going to be refinanced to
half
to all
a
hell.
percent premium for sure.
The difference between the 15 and 30 right now is 50 basis points. That's
Oh,
a 15-year
go.
difference. So it,
Yeah,
you
around
might
the
say it'll be equivalent, because even though it's a 50-year mortgage, it's 20 years longer. The investors are saying, well, people aren't going to stay in the home for more than 12 years, so it's I think
That's
it'll
what they're thinking. People are moving out of home 7-8 years.
not no mo.
No? Yeah, I guess.
They locked in. They locked in at rates too good.
Yeah, those rates, man. Someone in the chat just said they have a 1.1.
He also
1.1?
lives in Japan, which has had negative real interest rates. I don't know.
I'd kill for that.
Okay. Do you have the magical screen up?
The magical one?
Yeah. Did you? Yeah. The screen number 3 works. We can't see it on the TV, but
Okay.
I'll read it out.
Okay.
Too
This
soon.
one?
Too soon. Too soon, Junior. Pull up the Elon Musk tweet.
You got it, bub.
Elon and Ayn Rand.
Okay, there's a lot of tweets here. Give me a minute.
Oh,
I'm
Let's-
out on the 50-year, by the way.
you're
You're
out.
Yeah.
Out like you wouldn't take it, or you don't want it in general for society.
I don't want it for society, and for me, I don't think I have the discipline to take $130.
Okay, but
and
100-year interest only.
I absolutely
Sign me up. Sign me up immediately. I'll swap so fast.
I think I need real savings for me to actually behaviorally move. Like if it's $130, I'm not going to be like, yes, I'm going to put this into the S&P.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I didn't take
Stupid.
the interest-only mortgage is because it only lasts for 10 years. So hypothetically, you could refinance in 10 years, and you're basically crossing your fingers that it's
Yeah.
worth at least, the home is at least worth what it is now. But if you knew you would have it locked in, who cares? Corby says people will not invest the excess.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
never happening.
Okay,
They're
so
just gonna buy a fucking Apple purse for their iPhone.
that's the 50.
Dude, how much is that? That's
$250. There you go. You don't even have that money.
Dude, it's like
It's $250 for a sock
it's a
to
phone
hold
sock.
your phone. A phone sock.
Dude,
The eye sock. Did you see that? Is
Okay.
this real, by the way? I don't even know what's real anymore.
I don't either, but I did see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Hold on.
We-
we don't have screen sharing, huh?
Yeah, no, it'll
No,
show up
we
for
just don't
them.
have the TV up, but we have that ability. So I want to know what you think if you see somebody walking down the street with a phone sock. Are you gonna be like,
What's a phone sock?
or are you gonna be like, oh, what a sucker? Or are you gonna be like, oh, what a cool dude?
What is a phone sock?
Sucker.
What?
So you got it? Let me know when you got it.
I'm getting there.
Is it a case?
The iPhone Pocket, brother.
Okay.
It's this.
Look at those colors.
Okay.
Look at all those colorways.
Wait, I don't
No, no,
understand.
you gotta
Does it
show-
Hang, does it hang from your?
Yeah, hang from your arm, your shoulder.
It's like a purse sock for your
Oh
phone.
It's like
My
a
God.
crossover.
What do they charge for this thing again?
$250. I think there's like a 100 something version and a $230 version.
Dude, you got to imagine that Apple.
If you want a longer strap, it's $80 more.
What's the thread count on that thing, though?
This is an IQ test.
Apple is literally like, what won't they buy?
No, this is the experiment.
No, but
though.
Apple's not selling it, are they?
Yeah,
That's
this is
Apple.
Apple's product.
Oh my God.
This is Apple's product. man.
They probably saw the launch of the new phone and realized, wow,
No,
people
this
are only
is-
buying it because we
this
have an
is
orange
tapping
color.
into that. I'm not really big into this. I need to tap on Tom Nom Nom right now. This is this is tapping into that whole like
Keep the shoulders going.
supreme,
Your shoulders got a lot of movement.
like fashion brand culture,
Supreme,
like
yeah, I
what
see
people
this.
are
Yeah.
willing to spend money on. It's like a psychology test. Just like let's start with a sock. And then we'll charge $80 more for the long version. And then based on that, we'll also say we partnered with Issey Miyake on it. And let's just test the barometer of how people react to this kind of like exclusive stuff. And then we'll only make like 10,000 of them and then say they sold out and create scarcity and, all this stuff.
Okay.
It's all fucking bullshit, man. It's
Now
all
I'm
bullshit.
thinking that we're the suckers because Issey Miyake's in.
Yeah.
I've never heard that name before in my life.
Born from the idea of creating an additional pocket. That's the idea it was born from.
That you have to carry.
It's an understated design, fully encloses your iPhone, expanding to fit more of a user's everyday items. When stretched, the open textile subtly reveals its contents and allows users to peek at the iPhone display. Put it in your fucking pocket, man.
Dude,
Oh my God.
the way you read that, I'm
Oh.
aroused.
I mean, but
or-
somebody sat at a marketing table and wrote that copy. No, actually, AI.
What
wrote
if people
that
just
copy.
want to put the phone in their pocket?
Yeah, no.
No. You don't
You're
understand.
Not, you're not signaling.
I do
if
think
you
there is
that.
something about this, though, that like you either have to create a premium product that think about the K-shaped economy that like markets to this like top 10% that has like excess cash, excess wealth, excess income, or you have to go very like value driven for everyone else. And this is clearly off.
Yeah.
People have an extra $250.
I mean,
to spare
women
an
want
extra
this.
sock.
This is popular with women. They want to be able to carry their phone like this. They want it.
I feel like it's a
accessible.
human thing, right? You want to you want to demonstrate that I afforded this.
Oh, we're doing a shoulder
Yeah,
thing.
now I'm back. Hey, now.
Yeah.
People
you
wanna
spend
flex on each other,
$1,000
dude.
on a phone. You spend $230 on a case.
Hookem says, "Can I finance the phone sock for 100 years, interest only?" You can finance a
you can
Chipotle burrito.
finance
So
anything. You
Damn.
can finance anything.
Can you do like pay in for?
of course,
Like Klarna or
of
Oh,
course,
of course you can.
you haven't financed your burrito yet.
First of all, I haven't eaten a
Nick,
carb
can we
in
jump
6
to
days.
expert manufacturing corner?
Yeah, sure.
Cost. All in.
Dirt cheap. Depends what it's made of, but
Oh,
like
come on. It's made of fucking...
yarn. Yeah, I know. It's
What's it made of?
take the raw material
It's
cost.
made in China.
Yeah, and the weight.
No, this thing's made.
Oh, Issey Miyake.
Issey Miyake.
Yeah. Okay,
No,
it's
dude.
made in Italy.
Okay, you have licensing fees per unit. Fine. Dirt cheap. The licensing deals are usually like, okay, we guarantee you like $1 million licensing fees, but we're going to pay you like 10 cents a unit. It probably costs them like 15 cents.
Do we need to pause the live stream so that you can
Go
It's
fire it
still-
up.
it's-
go launch it?
$250.
Wow, we should create a knockoff brand of this.
Oh, they're gonna go nuts.
Just sell it for like $50.
Yeah, it's
The
gonna go
margins will
nuts
be
on
insane.
Amazon.
99% gross
Come on,
margins.
$2.50, right?
Less.
Less.
Dude, just think about the raw material cost and how much physical yarn there is.
But Nick, it was crafted in China. In Japan.
It was designed in Cupertino.
Japanese- yeah, I love that on every Apple box. Designed in Cupertino. But yeah, we didn't do anything.
Made by 13-year-old fingers.
Man.
Okay, you might be onto something. I'm losing focus. I would
new-
like
you have
to.
a new-
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't lost Nick already.
He's sending a text right now. Launch the product. Yeah, anyway. I don't know how we got to that.
Can you go to the Elon Musk
Oh, yeah.
tweet?
What about Elon? Okay, this one?
No, that is not Elon Musk.
Okay. This one? Nope.
Uh,
I don't have an Elon Musk tweet. Hold on.
all right, I'm going to start
wrong
reading
card.
it.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
wrong card.
Yeah, show the card.
All right, show the screen for a little bit. I'm going to narrate his whole tweet. So scroll up a little bit so people can just see what's going on
Can you
here.
do a good Elon?
No, but I'll just do my own voice. Scroll up. All right, so here's this guy, Senator Roland Gutierrez. He's going off on Elon.
I listened to this guy. Yeah, he was teeing off on Elon.
He's pissed because he thinks Elon Musk is becoming a trillionaire off the backs of the American taxpayers while we're struggling just to pay for groceries. So he goes on this like video tirade, basically saying there shouldn't be trillionaires.
He's like a Texas politician.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's Republican or Democrat, but it doesn't really matter. But Elon gives like usually he's like, "Hey, pedo,
Democrat.
fuck off," is what he usually says. But he actually gave a pretty eloquent thing, and then I want to talk about how it relates to Atlas Shrugged a little bit. So he says, "You are a taker, not a maker. All you've done your whole life is take from the makers of the world. The zero-sum mindset you have is at the root of so much evil. Once you realize that civilization is not zero-sum, and that is about making far more than one consumes, then it becomes obvious that the path to prosperity for all is just let the makers make. Regarding Tesla, the reality is that I have been given nothing. However, if I lead Tesla to become the most valuable company in the world by far, and it stays that way for 5 years, shareholders voted to award me 12% of what is built. Anyone who wants to come along for the ride can buy Tesla stock. If Tesla merely becomes a $1.999 trillion company, I get nothing. This is a great deal for shareholders, which is why they voted so overwhelmingly to prove this, for which I am immensely grateful. And they did so by a margin far more than you won your political seat."
Okay, so let's talk about the vote that just happened and like let's tee up what just happened with like the shareholder vote.
Yeah, so I forget the criteria, but he has to make it like a multi-trillion-dollar company. He has to stay that way for 5 years. I think the EBITDA requirements are outrageous.
Are there milestones? Because I think like the top end one was like $8.5 trillion market cap, $400 billion in profit.
Right. So Apple makes about like a little less than $150 billion a year.
So
now.
yeah, this is massive.
So like,
he's got to sell 1 million Optimus robots and 1 million robotaxis.
Targets are big.
right.
And if he doesn't hit these,
Nothing.
No
Nothing.
bonus.
I mean, there's not that many CEOs that would be down because, like, imagine you're an investor in a startup. It's very rare to find an entrepreneur who will take zero salary, zero comp for
it's a
close to a decade.
Yeah, it's a real betting on yourself moment.
Now, granted, Elon's different because he's
So
one of the
much
richest
money.
men in
The
the world.
guy
Yeah.
took every dollar he had and put it into the highest risk ventures possible. And he'll do it all over again in the future if Tesla's not around for whatever reason. Like, I just think it's a psychological difference between people that Elon really eloquently like examined and pointed out. It is really truly a zero-sum mindset versus a positive-sum mindset. But there's another way to look at it as well. It's like to understand that society and all of its benefits function as a result of people like this creating great things for people, and that by creating something for people, why do we have to compare his bonus to the situation of everyday people? Like, there is a reality that people are suffering, but these problems don't coexist. They have nothing to do with one another. Like, one person is trying to drive value and create jobs and provide innovation for society, and this senator is pointing out something that has nothing to do with Elon Musk. It really doesn't have much to do with him. He's doing his part. I mean, Jeff Bezos said the same thing. Jeff Bezos one time, he's been getting more and more kind of direct with his like statements, and he was just like, "Look, I have created so many jobs. I have delivered things to your door in an hour. And if I'm a billionaire as a result of that, when no one believed in me, and I took this company to what it is today, why am I vilified for this?
Yeah,
What have I done wrong?"
Imagine like the cost to me to get any product on earth to my door from a click of a finger in hours is that Jeff Bezos is a billionaire.
And now I'm supposed to blame him for society's malfunctions and issues and systemic problems because of what the government has done. Now Jeff Bezos is the problem. I just think that's...
Dude, it's straight out of Atlas Shrugged.
So tell us how and why, because I haven't read it.
Like Atlas Shrugged, beyond being a great doorstop and like potential home defense
like
weapon,
this
yeah, it's enormous. It stands out on any bookcase because it's humongous. I think on Audible, It's like a 60 out. I don't know. It's
60?
I don't know. It's long.
Okay,
It's
so
like 800 pages.
okay, so raise your hand if you've read this book.
No.
Yeah, that's a Nick only. That's a Nick only.
It got
I've
given
been
to
told
me.
to start with Fountainhead.
My first internship was the first book I got in like a professional context. He was like, "Read this," and I was like, "Okay, I'm not going to read this." But
Well,
I
you
didn't.
went for it.
No, I didn't read it. And then later I was like, you know what? I'll listen to this on audiobook, and so I listened to it. It took me like a year to like finish it, and then I was like, okay, I've kind of read this in parts. I'm gonna watch like this shitty movie version of it. It was like in 3 movies.
The movie
parts.
is pretty shitty.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Hopefully they create an actual good one. But essentially the plot is it basically talks about individualism, like rational self-interest, and kind of like open-ended capitalism in the form of this dystopian society where regulators and politicians basically like self-deal and push down the makers. The makers go on strike and leave society. So
Wait,
imagine where like Elon, Jeff Bezos, name every
'Cause
like
there's like a John Galt and
who is John Galt?
Denegal.
Who
or
is John
something.
Galt?
Okay, so these
That-
guys are like the Elon Bezos. There's like a handful of them.
Yeah. And so John Galt initially, there's this phrase that goes around this, who is John Galt? And it's kind of like, imagine you just get this phrase, it's like, who knows? Who cares? Like, why are things shitty? Who is John Galt? Who knows? Why is this? And it becomes this like
Meme.
meme of like referencing like, why aren't things working the way they should? And anyway, there's this concept of like makers and takers. So for people who've read the story, like Hank Rearden is one of them, and he develops this thing called Rearden Steel. It's by far better than everyone else. Allows them to build railroads faster, more reliable. It allows them to build motors that didn't exist before and create jobs. But the politicians, the looters, there's literally a character in here. I forget his first name, but his last name is Mooch. It's so good. He's like the quintessential politician. His last name is Mooch, and he comes up with these policies that like basically equal out. That it's unfair that Hank Rearden developed this, and he has such a competitive advantage that he keeps winning. And so they start over time. They start implementing these policies that try to even out things because it's zero sum. We have to kind of like extract from the makers and give to everyone else. So there's the makers and takers concept, which I think we have now. There's a zero sum mindset versus value creation actually like grows the pie immensely. That exists now. The government and political figures are the antagonists. Wesley Mooch is it, and they like have these laws, the anti-dog eat dog rule. Anyway, it's straight regulation that you kind of see being proposed now. And then there's public backlash, which we already see now. People pissed.
Hate billionaires. Yeah.
People hate billionaires. And so over time, what ends up happening is they realize that John Galt is not this like meme. He actually is real. And he used to work for this motor company, and he was developing these amazing motors. But the company started kind of taking on these like Marxist principles, and he bailed. And he created like a little, think about like a ranch. Think about like a ranch, Galt's Gulch. And over time, as these innovators and makers get so fed up with just like everyone being against them, not just like taking away their money, but just the principle of like, let me do the thing that I'm good at. They all go to Galt's Gulch, and society just starts like, folding on itself. More regulation, more and more.
It fails because there are no creators left to like keep society moving
Exactly.
forward.
And like at the end of the book, and I'm kind of spoiling it, but like the beauty in the book is not the like end. It's in like how this thing progresses and the characters and just matching it up to what you see in society today. But essentially all the innovators, and it's not just business people, by the way, it's artists that are part of this, designers, like anyone who just makes is part of it. And they look out on society and literally like crumbling, and it leaves you with the feeling like, okay, so now the makers are like free to potentially make again and kind of rebuild in this
they
like
re-enter society.
not even re-enter. It's not even like re-enter and save. It's like just start new.
Oh,
And
Can you help me?
it has a very
understand
dystopian
something?
ending, but
Does the book address this idea of why it is so hard for the takers to understand that your wealth has a direct correlation to the amount of value you create for other people? Or do you guys have an opinion on that?
Well, it
Why
goes.
is this so difficult for people? Some people.
I do like that framework. I think that's like a very good framework to stand by, but I don't often think that that's like, it's not always the case.
Sometimes it can be extractive.
So
but I think that's the exception to the rule.
they have these different profiles of people who are in the takers, right? The classic one is that Wesley Mooch. He's a politician, right? And he's like self-dealing, trying to stay in power, right? But then there's also this other character who's part of the takers, but he's a brother of a maker. So there's a character called Dagny Taggart. She's a woman. She's like Hank Reardon. She is a beast of an entrepreneur. She just wants to be left alone and do the work. But her brother, who's also wealthy by nature of the family's business, he has this thing, which is what we talk about, which is like the guilt that some billionaires get, where they like start in this virtual signaling, which is like they go against the principle that got them where they are and think that like, well, if I just...
Yeah, they have the guilt. Yeah.
They have the guilt. And so he kind of has the guilt, and he likes to look good by like, he directly opposes his sister at some point to harm the business. She's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you teaming up with these politicians to like enact these policies don't work? And he doesn't care because he gets like significance and he gets his need filled from doing it. So anyway, those are the two ones they kind of address.
I mean, to clarify, like, I don't think anybody with money is someone that created value. There are plenty of people that they just serve a role as like a capital allocator, or they got lucky, or whatever.
Or whatever, yeah.
You know, it doesn't even matter, right? But if you wanted to become wealthy, you could steal money and do illegal things, or you could go create value for other people. And I think that the biggest thing that is a blocker for a certain segment of society is actually a lack of desire to have that self-reliance.
Well, I completely agree with that.
It's like they just don't want to do the work because they want it handed to them because society is unjust and unfair.
Well, yeah, everybody
and they don't believe that there's a path.
Everybody has the opportunity to go create wealth for themselves. The starting line is different for everybody. It's not an equal opportunity, but everyone has the opportunity. But I think I do question that idea of like, it's just about creating value. Because I think about myself, right? And I think if we're going to judge other people, we should judge ourselves.
Yeah.
So I think about myself. I talked about this with Marcus, actually, our dear friend, like at length and in deep convos. Like, so if I like go in the options chain and I extract, a couple $100,000 a year, like how much value am I giving to people? It's just like something, it's just a skill that I have and I know how to do it. It's just like something I'm doing. I make some money. Yeah. And it's not like, I guess like in a way I'm providing liquidity to the chain, and that's cool. And I guess it's useful because you want to have like a free market with liquidity. But then I can think about Nick's stuff. Like, so you're going to sell some products to somebody like a bath bomb, and it's like, so like how much value are you giving?
Sure.
You give somebody a respite to their hard day. They get into a bath and they put their bubbles on, and okay, but like, should you become a billionaire off of that? Like, you're not changing humanity. I'm not changing humanity.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, most people don't.
Right.
That's fair.
Most people don't. Like the people who made these chairs is like, are they changing humanity?
I still think of it as like a form of making, though. It's like instead of wanting to sit back and collect a check and take and have daddy government do the work for you, at least you're out there doing something. You're playing by the rules of the game.
Yeah, I suppose
you're in the arena.
I guess like
that's the real thing is, are you in the arena or are you criticizing the people in the arena?
I agree. And I think when I like even devil's advocate myself, I think what I try to say is like, I don't hold myself as more virtuous than a consumer, or like, I don't think there's anything better being a maker or a taker. You're just like, you're a guy trying to make it for yourself in any way that you can. And I think everybody's the same. I think certain guys like Elon or like Jeff Bezos is a better example, like made our lives so much better, and he deserves everything he gets. Elon, I would say is not as good an example because it doesn't touch as many lives, but I have a Tesla. I just went in for my first service. I told you guys it was like the best experience of my life. I think Elon deserves everything he's gotten too. But like, they're changing humanity, whereas I'm providing liquidity to the options chain.
Yeah.
I mean, am I actually changing humanity? I don't know.
No. Yeah, that's a very good analysis.
I think it's really hard because like a big part of this is the populist backlash. It happens in the book. It happens now. It's really hard when you think about it, to humans can't really understand exponential growth, but they can't really understand second, third order, fourth order consequences unless you actually sit down and try to proactively think about it. You see, Elon sells cars, is a billionaire, going to be a trillionaire, bad, right? Or you might see groceries high, Elon trillionaire, bad. But there's like multi parts to the system. There's shareholders, there's employees, there's other companies that grow because of it. And it's really hard to just piece together the whole system. But I think the main thing she tries to get across in the book, and it's what Ayn Rand's known for, and you can kind of see it across all of her writings. And there's an Ayn Rand Institute that exists to kind of promote these values. But basically she says like self-interest is moral. And, you could kind of tweak the language. She even says that greed is moral. But like I think you tweak the language and be like, performance-based incentives are moral because they cause people to excel and create. Like that's what drives people's motivation, their skill level, to go through all the headaches of like starting a business and the stress and the risk to do it. And that should be deemed moral because of how much wider it grows the pie. And so I think that's a really hard sell to make to like everyone,
Yeah.
What would you say to this? Because I have a dear friend who I won't name, but we had this conversation like 2 years ago, actually. And it wasn't about Elon, but it didn't matter. This person was like, well, why would anyone need that much money? What if you gave them all the money they could ever possibly imagine and just cap it at that? Like, why does it need to be infinite?
I actually don't think it's about money in this case.
It's not about money.
I think it's about control of the company, right? He wants to have, call it 20, 25% voting rights.
You're saying Elon.
He's not, what does he need more money for? I don't think he actually does. He could buy more things like Twitter if he wanted to, but
the money is a tool. He deserves the money because he will continue to create value.
Okay, so what do you think of this person's idea that I'm describing, who said there should be a cap on how much money you have?
If you cap his money, then you don't birth a person that wants to take humanity to Mars and turn us into a multi-planetary species. Like, it is that fact that there's no ceiling to the game that enables us to continue innovating as a society and as humanity.
I agree with
take
you,
that
but
cap,
I agree with you. I'm just like voicing the opinion.
did he say what he thought the cap should be? Because that's the big part of the argument. Like, is it $1
okay,
billion
so
or is it a trillion?
Let's say that Elon's at $1 trillion. Why don't you cap him at 500 billion? That's already.
Is there a cost of living adjustment every year for?
I don't know. I didn't get that deep, but
Okay.
like at 500 billion, you're still like to a place where money doesn't even move the needle in any direction.
It's not about what I would say to this person is it's not about the ceiling, it's about the floor. And we've talked about this before. Like, I don't mind if there's someone worth $1 trillion if the average state of life in the country and humanity at large is also taken care of. That's the discrepancy. And what we've seen is that as innovation drives forward, we solve problems. We solve hunger. We solve clean water. We solve environmental issues. We solve housing. We solve crime. Like, all of this just continuously fuels and improves the floor. Or we take an approach where the government tries to handle everything for us, chops down the trees, cuts them, and says, I can allocate this money better than the innovators can. I don't think that's ever proven to be a better.
No, I agree. I agree with you that the incentive system in place solves the problems.
If you take this guy is clearly driven by incentives.
Let me just take the other side. If you were to redistribute half of Elon's wealth, say he's got $1 trillion, you redistribute 500 billion to all Americans, that'd be like approximately $1,500 per American. And imagine what they would do with that money.
They would buy 3 iPhone pockets.
Meme coins.
You buy meme coins.
We've already done it. We
done
just lived through it.
We got
right.
our $2,000 helicopter check during COVID.
I think they're coming again. I think Besant tweeted that they're coming
It's
again.
funny though. I think like if you give it enough time, the money ends up back where it started. So like if you give it like I don't know, 1 or 2 economic cycles, you redistribute the wealth, and then in like 15, 20 years.
Are you saying like Elon's kids squander it and it's back to...
No, I'm saying like, let's say we level set everyone on Earth to the same amount of money. Everyone starts with like $75,000, like in 15, 20 years. Elon will
still
be in
be
the
the
top
richest guy.
top percentile, or
Agreed.
Yeah, you're just chopping his tree. That's it.
But they're obviously imperfect things to the system, but it's still relatively better. But like, for example, if you said, hey, Elon, why don't you start an insurance company? He'd be like, well, the optimal thing to do would be to not insure these people with deadly diseases, right? And so like the government kind of has to come in and like do this, but when they far overreach, that's where the problems come in. Because you could look at the biggest criticism of capitalism was like, what about housing and what about healthcare? Like, why is it so fucked up if we have capitalism? It just so happens that those are the areas where you have the most amount of like government regulation overreach in those industries. And that's where all the red tape, the parasitical bureaucracy, like kind of like takes its handles. And so I think you do need government support in a lot of these industries, but it just, once the bureaucracy starts, it doesn't
never gets
stay
smaller.
flat. It never gets smaller, right? It grows.
Well, may I take this Von Deepa?
Please.
So here's the prompt on this, which is sort of just great because it's this topic, but just a Von Deepa branch. Flourishing philanthropy. Are billionaires doing enough to help the world? How can we measure an individual's positive impact on the world? In what ways is philanthropy effective, and is it flawed? And I think this is the crux of like what a lot of people's problem is with billionaires. It's a question of, are they actually doing enough to help the world? Like you see this meme float around all the time. Elon should give all this money away and it would solve all these problems. If only he was less selfish, it would solve all of these problems. So are they doing enough to help the world? And how can we measure their impact in the world? And as a premise in general, is philanthropy good? Is it effective, or is it a flawed way of approaching this problem?
I think most philanthropy is a scam, but
Is most philanthropy?
That's a hot take.
I'd never thought of this. Like, I don't even think of philanthropy being a scam as that hot, but because like you have this like administrative bloat and bureaucratic slippage and corruption, which is maybe what Nick's alluding to. But what about the idea of philanthropy as just like handouts are sort of like bad incentives that lead people to worse outcomes?
say that last part again.
Is that what you mean?
Well, no, let me
I
understand.
couldn't tell if you meant that there's just bureaucratic slippage, or if you actually meant that by giving philanthropy, you sort of like train people to like wait with their mouth open instead of like going and
No, I
eating.
think like one, if you've attained that money, you have the right to like give it wherever you feel best. If you think it's like mosquito nets in Africa, then like go do it. Like,
But what about philanthropy? Do you think philanthropy is bad or good?
I don't know. I've seen
flawed?
really good parts, and I've seen really bad parts that are just like tax avoidance schemes.
Okay, so it
and,
tends
and
to
ways
be,
to move money generation to generation.
it
without,
tends to be like on a local level, philanthropy seems to be like more effective.
Amazing.
And on a macro level, it's pretty bad.
Well, like you look
not
at like
macro, just like
in the way to measure, there's usually a metric. It's like what percentage of your donations go to programs. So like Feeding America is like a good example. I think it's something like 93 cents on every dollar you donate goes to programs, which means it actually like does the end good they're saying they're doing. So like,
Is that the one Uncle Tony does?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think the one that's how he does it. So like you donate $1, 93 cents will go to a food pantry that actually hands out food. So
Wow.
that would be the food, the renting of the place, and
there are many such cases. I don't
Yeah.
want to just like with a broad brush be like, all these are shitty. Like I donated to St. Jude.
You're
I think
just
St. Jude's a
asking
good one.
a philosophical question.
Yes, I'm
Is it
thinking like
bad to construct society in a way that people expect philanthropy
right.
at all?
I think that's okay. I guess like when I think of like great nonprofits, when you say philanthropy, so for some reason I have this like tax avoidance, scheme going on in my head. I also think about like nonprofits that operate on like a worldwide scale that are like, there actually some political there's actually some political motive behind it. I'm going to start a nonprofit, but really what I'm going to do is like seed propaganda. I'm going to fund politicians, like, every political action committee you can think of.
Yeah, I suppose like we're talking about maybe two different things because
Yeah.
I in my side of it, I would even include like UBI as like a forced form of wealth redistribution, which ends up looking like philanthropy because the receivers of the funds would look the same.
I don't think it's bad. I don't think society functions cohesively without some level of philanthropy and welfare state, right? Like you need some type of like social programs.
You can't have people dying
No.
on the street.
No, you can't have that because that's just inhuman, right? Like it could have been you. And all you have to do is have a little bit of compassion to see that like if you were born in the wrong zip code to the wrong family, that could have been you too. So like the
Sorry, just reading the chat as you guys
The,
are going. I'll read it later.
the fact that we're human, we have to be better, and we have to acknowledge that. And I can only address how I approach philanthropy and my view on it. I have like two things that I believe and do, and I never talk about these things, but since it's the topic, if someone asks me for money for a cause, I don't even evaluate it. I don't even care what percentage goes to. If I got the ask, I have a certain amount, and I always give that amount based on where I'm at in my life. And that number, the reason I did that is because Uncle Tony taught me like 15 years ago, is like, if you won't give 10 cents out of $1 today, you never will when you're ultra wealthy. So don't fool yourself to thinking you're going to become this giving person in the future if you don't have the ability to do that today. So I'm like, I don't care what the cause is. Here you go. And then there's many causes that are amazing, like someone's sick or someone lost a home or whatever. And I'm like, okay, extra. And then the other way is that I approach it from an emotional place of like, this is something that if I had 1,000 lives, I probably would do this. I'd probably be the person interested in this, supporting this movement. But in this life, I'm going to use this vehicle to create money and wealth. And I'm going to participate in the feeling of as if I'm involved in that through my philanthropy in that outlet. So like the things that matter to me, for me, it's not the environment that really moves things. It's like a lot of like children's stuff, education. I really care about stuff like that.
It's cool to hear you say that. And I think it's like, it's rubbing off on me even to like, sort of like take notice and think about where I am at and like, how much
I'm like,
am
I would have
giving?
been a teacher maybe in another life. If I can support teachers, if I can support children, if I can support, I was the chairman, Nick and I were part of a nonprofit. I became the president of the nonprofit, Traveling Stories. It was like my way of giving back. I donated money, like all these things. So I look at like, okay, that helps literacy, creating literacy for children. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So that's the way I think about it. And over time, I just hope to maintain that same allocation and percentage to like, just keep supporting. But I totally agree with Nick that most of these that I've looked at, it's unfortunate what percent actually gets
Can I get
to the hands.
a comment from the chat? It's good timing. Marty McFly says, good philanthropy is when a guy donates $50 million towards a new college stadium. That's the kind of philanthropy we need, the sports ball kind.
Yeah, right. So you want to put your name, you want to call it like Autzen Stadium or whatever. Like that's
Philanthropy.
That's philanthropy.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a question I had about philanthropy. It's like, imagine you're a trillionaire. Like, I think there's even two different kinds of philanthropy. One is the world exists in the way that it does today, and you help people within that sphere. And the other type is like, you want to expand the sphere and like better humanity and expand sort of like what humans can experience. And I feel like the second kind is like what Elon's going for.
Yeah, like if you put a robot in every home
and
you
gets,
help people.
And he gets shit on for doing the second kind instead of the first kind.
Right. Bingo. Well said. And there's like some sort of like cognitive dissonance for people between the two.
But because the second one is an unknown return, right? Like you don't know how humanity is going to get benefited by this. But I think that's actually the more virtuous one, probably, because like
not that hard to see if you create less accidents and self-driving cars and put robots in homes, and then give humanity something to strive for, to turn it into an interplanetary species, so that there's an optimistic future to orient ourselves toward. These are all pretty obviously good things for humanity, but they're less immediately gratifying and direct. And people love to see the headline, Jeff Bezos gives $50 million to this. Boom, immediate gratification impact. That's what people like. That's the difference.
I think I would focus on that second form. If I was in Elon's shoes, I would like try to expand humanity's ability or capacity.
That's what Nick. That's what you think, don't you? You're like,
Absolutely.
I jobs. You give people jobs. You employ
Yeah.
all these people. It's not even about like your product to you. It's like I'm functioning. I'm moving the market. I'm employing people. I'm giving them good livelihood and benefits and all these things that they get to have through me, and they do fun work.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is like allow someone to earn their like above average income, right? Like, and give them the skills. And if they don't do it here, then they can take those skills and experience and do it somewhere else.
Learn
That's
from
okay too.
you. That's philanthropic.
Yeah, I was actually thinking while you guys were talking, I was like, man, what would be like the ideal nonprofit that would accomplish this second thing through philanthropy? So how could you seed, like, what would be the best way to seed like 10,000 new entrepreneurs? And ideally you do it with people who don't typically become entrepreneurs. Like there's all kinds of people who like are ready. You could tell like they're young, they're hungry, they come from like average income, like they have the capabilities of a social
saying
network.
They don't need help.
They don't need help. They're, but like maybe we had like, do you guys remember when we had the group of kids in here and we all like gave and spoke and like their minds are just blown. They're like, oh, you're kind of like me. You kind of look like me. You're not that old. And you guys all have these stories about how you like created something from nothing. And they're just like, that's eye-opening when you're like, oh, someone showed me that it's possible. And now I can like try to connect the dots where before you didn't know that someone like me could do that. Like, I think if you had enough money, what would be really cool is if you find, let's say, a subset of like 5,000 kids and you put them locally, right? And you go to like local small businesses, but they have to be founder-led, not like CEO-led. Someone who started the company from scratch. And you say, hey, listen, I got a kid. I would like to place him with you for 3 weeks. He's gonna come to work every day. He doesn't have to work, but we're gonna give you the money to pay him, so you don't have to pay him. And because it could be a hassle, maybe you're a dick, I don't know, but like we'll pay you too, for like making sure he has a desk and whatever. The only catch is he just has to shadow you. So like every meeting you go in, he's on. Every call you're on, he's on or she's on. And just let him follow you around for 3 weeks. And that's it. And then at the end, you got to like sit down with them, try to teach them something, take him out to dinner, take her out to dinner, whatever. Like, and just, I think like if you put a kid who doesn't know that this is all possible and you just let him sit next to you and just be like, whoa, like this is what it's like. This is how you did that.
Life-changing.
Yeah. Cause most people can connect the dots, especially with internet and GPT and YouTube. Like you could do all those things. It's just, you don't know what it looks like at the end. So you don't even know what you're like working towards.
Okay. So then I have the ultimate philanthropy for you.
What?
Just do a vlog where you like show your entire day every day.
No, I don't like that.
Nick is the non-influencer influencer.
But that's exactly what he's talking about. Just he wants to influence one person at a time.
No, but it's not as immersive if someone like occasionally turns into like episode 13 of your 30 day thing. That's not immersive. But when they have to like show up to work on time and like they feel the energy of like moving from meeting to meeting or the pressure of, this investor call and, like, and, they might even be bored. They might be like, wow, I just have to sit here and wait while you like intensely prepare for this phone call. That's boring. Or have to watch you play with this Excel spreadsheet. That's also boring. But then I think there will be a lot of light bulbs taken off and a lot of like motivation. And I often think that entrepreneurs will be like, oh, actually, I don't need the money. Like, kid can just come here and join.
I like that, dude.
Anyway.
That is a good one.
Exposure can change people very rapidly. Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe they'll end up getting a job at said place.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what the chat's
Any
saying.
funny chats? Because I feel like we were ripe for some funny ones.
Soup kitchens are dope. Someday would run a soup kitchen, give out pasta, based like Al Capone.
Classic Italian guy, Marty. Classic Italian.
My twist on Ayn Rand is that, this is from Corby, my twist on Ayn Rand is that people with innately high morality add a positive some contribution to society by their economic success. Not that personal economic success is positive morality. So I think he's like putting one before the other. Like high morality people, when they create a business, or have some success, they create the positive sum.
Is it true that money doesn't change you? It reveals you?
Yes.
Oh, it's
100%. 100%. It magnifies you by like 100x. Yeah, you've heard our private stories. Hookham clarifies that Ayn Rand is 73 hours.
Jesus.
73
Okay, first
hours.
of all, I just Googled it. Wasn't that book written in 1957?
Yeah.
Which is why it's mind-blowing that it's like you're watching it in real life. You're living it. You're feeling it. You're like, holy shit, I'm inside of this book right now.
Okay, so it also reminds me of what Balaji described as a person's two choices. You have like your voice or your exit. Like when you're confronted with like a government that's going to restrict you. Like imagine you're an entrepreneur. You can like voice against that government or you can exit it. And like
He chose Galt's Gulch.
Galt's Gulch was the exit.
Yeah.
And Elon is right now using voice. I guess he left California and went to Austin.
True.
So that's already a slight exit.
But he's voicing. I mean, he got someone elected president, arguably.
But I guess if Ayn Rand was to be more of a documentary going forward, then all of these guys would exit. And
eventually, right? Like if you allow these politicians, the takers, it's so funny, true, because like the politicians literally take. They are in fact, they serve, but they're parasites at the same time. But yeah, if you let them keep going, you could argue that like Mamdani in New York is like a sign of that, where if there was like the Elon Musk or the Hank Reardon of New York, is that person going to, base their company there? I don't know. You might see like a little microcosm of the exodus to Galt's Gulch, which right now apparently is like Austin, Texas.
so what about like, I'm going to get too in the weeds here, but like, what about in Galt's Gulch where you have like...
you said you didn't read this book.
I didn't read it, but I'm just now starting to think about it. Like imagine you go to Galt's Gulch and you got like Elon and Jeff Bezos there and you're like trying to be in a place to live and there's like no plumbers and carpenters and electricians. Like those guys...
You're free to hire them.
So I guess Galt's Gulch isn't just for creators. It has like a...
No, I mean, it signifies like these self-interested, greedy people, quote unquote, like leaving, and then society collapsed. Like literally, without Reardon Steel, and by forcing the market to these shittier steel companies that build the railroads, people die, and the transportation breaks down. Things move slower, and like society actually, in the book, actually crumbles. Because they take it to such a far extreme.
And in our case, it wouldn't crumble. It would just sort of like lose over generations to a society that promoted their creators.
Yeah,
it's really simple. If you remove the incentives, what happens?
I'm pretty sure Dagny Taggart runs a railroad company, and she wants to just buy Hank Reardon steel, but there's all these like political factors where she can't buy the steel, and like she's having railroad accidents happen and she's like, fuck, but at the same time politicians are like, you have to choose the shittier steel, but she's like, but the company's gonna fail if like we keep having people crash. It's starting to come back a little bit, but anyway, I would recommend it. I really hope they make a movie just so people can like get the 2-hour version instead of the 73.
Mark Andreessen was saying something about it's either Fountainhead or Atlas Shrugged movie in the works, but hard to get approved because of how controversial it is even 70 years later.
Who is John Galt? That's the meme.
Who is Ron Paul?
Who is...
That was such a good campaign.
Someone put up a sign. Who's the
Only Ron Paul
who's the
had
political writer we like? More on politics guy.
Thomas Sowell.
Someone put up a sign on a building. I don't know where it was, but it just said, "Who is Thomas Sowell?"
That's good.
Okay.
So we just need to meme it.
Need to meme it.
Let's
So Billionaire's bad. Got it.
Let's get Thomas Sowell on the pod.
God knows that guy's got another book to sell, so he might come on tour. Only time he speaks, he's got a book to sell. All right, guys. Any other lessons, comments from the chat? Life Alfalfa to wrap up with?
Yeah, I'd like to send a sincere thank you to everyone who texted me calling me fat this
nice.
week.
Oh,
when
they heard the call.
Yeah, when I asked for sincere feedback. Thank you.
Did it do what it needed to do?
Yeah, I've lost up 1% body fat. I'm
There we go.
fucking dialed in.
Yeah.
We got a
Look at
nice
me.
little group
Yeah.
thread
Just
going.
look at me.
Asparagus.
Are there 20 cameras on you?
You're gonna need a new wardrobe.
Yeah, I'm too.
What's that waistline?
I'm too
sub
fit.
30.
No.
I feel like that's the only metric that matters, actually.
Waistline?
Yeah, like forget the weight, because
I only care about body fat percentage.
how are you
but-
measuring that though? Like,
I
Whoa.
don't think waistline matters.
Whoa.
It
What's
does.
With this? What's
I
with
mean,
all
it
the heat?
matters somewhat, but like,
Okay, my waistline
structure.
is 32.
yeah, mine too.
You go.
But like,
You go.
32.
I don't actually know. I think I'm wearing 32
Stretchy
jeans.
pants.
Stretchy pants. They're old, and I don't wash nor dry them, so they're probably 34s. And they're not skinny jeans. They just look like it because I've been filling them out.
He was embarrassed to say. That's great.
Oh, I went to Muay Thai for the first time in 2 years, and my coach was like, "You still move around okay?" It was almost like, "Hey, you're fat."
Yeah.
I left out that like the sentence he wanted to say was, "Hey, you're fat, but you still move around okay," and he kind of left the first part like, "But you still move around okay," and I was like, "What was the first part you meant to say?"
We got to get trainer Ronnie on the pod one day.
Oh man, I would love to get him next week. He traveled the world for 2 years and went to like something like 50 countries. And he basically did like Muay Thai seminars, but he went with his wife and his 2 kids who are
This would be
young.
Such a good episode.
And his perspective about living in different countries is amazing, but then also coming back to the States and the things he like was like, America is the greatest, but he still has things he hates about it. And like his insights into it are, and they're not what you
If you
think.
guys do this without me, because I'm gonna be in San Francisco next week.
This is a voice we need to hear, though.
I know.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
All
I'll
right.
be listening vicariously.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we can
Hopefully
get him
Ronnie
on.
can come through.
Yeah.
But if not, definitely get him in the future.
Yeah, I want him to. He trains people at this time, so we might have to do it at a different time.
No, we'll
where-
just like book out his time.
Oh, that's a great
That's
idea.
not how it works.
We book his
not how
time.
it works.
You come here, though.
That's a great idea. We'll do a little session.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's do
Oh.
a session on camera.
I did a session with him once.
Did you?
It's hard.
Should we
Holy
should we
shit.
just mic up and do the session and like ask questions in between rounds?
I remember at the end, it was like,
How
all
was-
right, 100 leg kicks. And it was like the end of the workout. And I was like, fuck, Nick, really? And he's like, yeah, man.
Dude, one time he just goes, "Okay, let's see." Did the leg kicks, and he's like, "All right," and he's looking me straight in the eyes, and I know what he's doing. He goes, 500 knees, and it was like this link. He wanted to see the weakness in my eyes when he said it, and I was like, I just looked at him, and I was like,
Yes, sensei.
"Yeah, exactly," because you know, like the test is like, will you just do it, or are you gonna like say something funny or like bitchy, or are you just gonna do it?
Damn, is that really the test?
I think it is. It feels like a test, and
Is
you.
that?
Yeah, you cannot flinch in the
Can
eyes
you
of your
extrapolate that to
sensei.
life? Is that
do hard things, and then like
hard
that
things.
that thing that you do that is actually not hard, it's more mental than physical. When you actually come across hard things, you're like, I've been here
So
before.
mental.
My muscle is strong.
I want to put a pin in that. I got a topic for you based on that next week if we don't get Ronnie.
Okay.
Mm.
All right.
Oh, man. Good
Well,
stuff, guys.
Yeah, good stuff. We'll wrap it up. Chat, thanks for joining in. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe
Let's
to the YouTube
continue
channel.
this combo in the
If-
Discord.
Yeah, if you want to, you're listening in audio only, but you want to do a gentleman's handshake, go over to the YouTube channel, give it a like, give it a subscribe. That helps.
Leave a comment.
And send the episode to a friend.
Yeah, I want to hear some what are some good philanthropies too? People believe in.
Yeah, this is a good discussion.
Yeah, let's get the good ones out there. If you've read Ayn Rand, let us know. If you're making the Ayn Rand movie, let us know. Okay, guys, that's it for us. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Pretty good.
Bye bye.
Peace.